Greetings everyone, it is I, T2, and I'm finally going to give my Elden Ring review video. And I just watched a video by a guy who apparently is not a big fan of Souls type games, and he made a video where he played the game for like 5 minutes and he took it back to GameStop for the refund. And basically he went through the tutorial. He came out in the first step and he attacked the first NPC and he got his shit pushed in, and then over and over again, and he finally got away from him, and then he tried to fight the guy on the horse, the Herb Tree Guardian, and he keeps saying like every time you make a mistake the game punishes you for it, and it's like impossible and it's too hard. He wanted an easier game. And these guys that are playing on console, he was talking about like, I'm going to take it back and get a good game like Ninja Gaiden or Gran Turismo or Devil May Cry. I'm like, how are you even making the comparison between these kind of games to Elden Ring, which is like insane. It's like in my opinion, and this is coming from somebody, if this goes viral, I gotta lay down some facts beforehand. I am not a fan of Souls type games. I never liked them because I knew that I was bad at them, so I didn't play them. And I take it that all the other ones were pretty much indoors, except for maybe Sekiro or something, or Tsushima. I'm not sure which one was outdoors. Does it even really count as Souls type? I don't even know. I've just seen a little bit of gameplay. I didn't play any of the other ones. I maybe started like Dark Souls 2 or 3 and didn't really get into it. But yeah, probably because I didn't really like ports from Japanese companies, first of all. Konami, Bandai Namco, Capcom. Those are like the three biggest offenders for getting the controls right on like a PC port. And not only do I play on mouse and keyboard, but I play not on a WASD configuration. I play ESDF. Like, my controls are so fucked. If I want to like switch to a two-hand instead of a one-hand, I gotta hit Shift T left click. If I want to use my shield to guard, I have to use the side mouse button like this. And if I want to use my Ash of War, I use the right click. So most people would probably use space or right click to dodge. I actually use A to dodge because that's my default run button in most games. Like, I was using space for a while. I think I switched to the right mouse, and I had to switch it for one specific boss. I couldn't dodge roll him right or something, so I had to put it back on A because I had to use my Art of War. I was trying to parry him. I was trying to buckler parry. I mean, it is so scuffed the way I play games right now. The fact that I'm even as far as I am is a miracle. I'm currently at the Black Sword Beast Clergyman guy and Faro Missoula. He has like 2 phases. I get the first 3. The first phase is easy. I got him down like 3 or 4 hits, and then he goes ape shit, and then I have to like the way the thing works. I mean, it's so complicated and complex. Like, every boss is its own game in itself. The game is a masterpiece, and this is coming from somebody that hates Souls type games. So like, I'm gonna get into the game and just show you some stuff. Is that on? Yeah. So yeah, I got a lot to talk about. So you come out. The first thing I mentioned in one of my streams was that every time you turn the camera, that could be like a Windows desktop wallpaper. Every screen, like, ka-chink, there's a screenshot right there. That could be a wallpaper. Like, it's so gorgeous, like the landscape, and it's so randomly weird. Some of the monsters, it's like those Japanese guys are so fucked. The way they see the world. Like, the guys that their necks pop out and go crazy in the many-armed grafted scions or whatever, and like, some of the stuff they come up with is really fucked up. But you get this big giant tree. So there was an NPC right here. I actually killed it in my playthrough. I don't even remember why, but it's fine. You end up getting his gear later on anyway. Then you got this guy right here that rides on a horse. I've killed him already. So I heard like Wings of Redemption played for like an hour or 2 just fighting this one boss, and I thought like, well, you must be really bad because you're obviously not supposed to do that. You're supposed to just run away like a little bitch, which you can. But he's actually, I watched some of his gameplay. Wings is really good, which you would expect from somebody that played Call of Duty as much as he is. He got that fast twitch nerve fibers, muscle fibers, whatever it is. He's like, he was doing a good job, but it's just, you can't really fight him being like level 1 unless you have like perfect parry and stuff. But like, yeah, every boss is kind of like its own puzzle you got to work out. Like, you might have to change your whole build just to do one boss and then change it back, unless you learn how to like do cheesy stuff, which is kind of what I did. I think when I first started the game, I just went backwards. Sorry, my voice is kind of getting fucked up because I got a lot of phlegm. I think I'm getting a cold or something. I started going like around the beach here, and I noticed that island over there. And like everybody said, like if you could see something in the distance, you can go there. And like, yeah, that stuff over there. You can go over there. There's an Erd Tree boss over there. You can go down in there. And there's land, and there's like a merchant down in there somewhere that I attacked and pissed him. He's right under there, I think. He's right underneath me. So yeah, if you want to, you don't have to go through the designated route of following the sites of grace. But if you wanted to just like skip all the bosses, I mean, people compare this game to like Zelda Breath of the Wild, which I've never really played that Zelda game. But yeah, if you wanted to be like an exploration kind of guy, Boogie made a video about this. Like, don't do what's normally expect. Like, don't think of it as like you got to kill each boss that comes to you one at a time before you can go on to the next boss. That's not how it works. You come here to this church and you sit down and you talk to this guy right here and you buy some shit. And then you go up this path. There's some soldiers here that are kind of hard if you don't know what you're doing, if you're just starting out. So you can even run past those. And when you get up here to this next side of grace, you can get a horse. And then once you get a horse, you can skip through the whole fucking game pretty much if you want. You can just like watch some speed runs of it and you can learn all these tricks. Or just use some third-party websites to like look up some good weapons that you might want to try. I recommend the Morning Star because it's a good bleed weapon. When you get to this grace right here, you get your horse and you're pretty much set. You can just like, you can make a whole game out of just like looking for sites of grace and seeing how far you can push just running past shit. And that's just a game on its own. It's just an exploration game at that point. That shit back there, all those rocks in the sky, that wasn't even there. That's like an event has to happen. You have to kill Radon, and then a star falls out of the sky, and it changes the whole world. That big giant tree, right there. I think it's like partially red right now because I'm setting it on fire because I'm burning that motherfucker to the ground. And this whole area, Landell, the big city, is going to change drastically, and the whole city is going to change. That's what I've heard. And it's like, I was trying to explain to my mom like why this game is so good, but she don't know fucking shit about games. But I was telling her like how surprising it is, like when you're you're riding around all these grassy areas, you know, you got these fucking knights and all this kind of stuff, right? And then there's also like the nighttime shit, like when you get to the bridge, there's gonna be like a Knights Cavalry man. Is like a fucking he's like that Headless Horseman kind of guy. There's 4 or 5 of those fuckers. There's fucking random dragons just sitting around. You don't have to fight them, but you can see them until you get good and then fight them. You don't have to fight them at all. You can beat the game without even like going to them. I didn't even see this. Oh, there's an Armorer's Cookbook I'd never discovered because this place is so fucking huge. But I was telling my mom, like, you start out in this little area right here. He's like, wow, this place is fucking huge. And then you go down to here and like, oh man, it's like twice as big as I thought. And then you'll accidentally hit this teleporter right here. I think it's right in here somewhere. Maybe this one? Yeah, and that'll teleport you over here. And then you see like, oh shit, the world's twice as big as I thought it was, and there's this whole plague lands over here, right? And you fight Radon down in here. So then, about that time, you may end up in the underworld, which is like, oh what? An underworld? Yep, there's an underworld to the map that's like underneath the regular map. Like, oh shit, there's like this whole city of eternal nighttime or something like that. It's kind of like the dwarven place in Skyrim. But it's also got stuff over here. This whole blood area, and then there's these waterfall areas with ants and shit. And there's this boss down here. Astal of the Natural Born of the Void, a fucking giant space mantis, whatever, right? So then you're like, everybody thinks like you got to go Stormvale Castle, you got to fight that first boss because that's where all the graces point you to, right? You got to fight Moog or Morgan or Margit or Margot Robbie or something. I don't know, the woman that played Harley in Batman, right? You don't have to even fight those, dude. You can just take this path right here, bypass the motherfucker, go around this secret path that goes around through these woods, and like, oh shit, you can just skip this whole thing. And you go into the swamplands, right? So let's go to the swamplands. Let's look at this. This place is crazy. I didn't even tell my mom this part, but I was telling her, like, the world keeps doubling in size every now and then. There's secrets, but beyond secrets, underneath secrets. Apparently, when you go, like, to the bottom of Landell, the sewers, I pretty much cleared all the sewers of Landell. You go underneath the city. Walking around the main city was a fucking nightmare because there's shit trying to kill you at every turn. But you go down to the sewers, there's the Dung Eater, the legendary eater of shit. You can do crazy stuff, too. And he can become one of your summons, which makes the game, like, insta-easy if you can do that part. But, like, there's a secret thing you hit somewhere, and it opens up a whole another city beneath that city, I think. I don't even know what I'm talking about, but I've heard about these legendary places that are, like, underneath all the other shit. There's these giant elevator lifts, 2 or 3 of them. Here's one right here. There's one over here. They get you going to the Forbidden Lands. Oh, what is that? So, like, we're not even getting close to it yet. We're still back here at the fucking swamp, right? Even the fucking swamp looks majestic and beautiful. There's all these ruins. Here's another one of those fucking... He's not a headless horseman, but he might as well be. He's fucking horrific. Right? We're just going to bypass him. So, like, I was talking about, like, the way you have to, like, change your build to kill certain bosses and shit. One of my hardest bosses for a while was the 2 Kindred of Rots, which is like a praying mantis looking insect that shoots 8 to 12 spiny shards out of his back. Heck, I can actually even show you right now. I think I have it. Yeah. Let me equip a staff. Wait. Is it a seal? There's faith and then there's sorceries. Wait, that's a claw. What am I doing? Seals. Where are my fucking seals? I'm making a video. There we go. Is it not up here? What? Yeah. Where's something? Give me something to fight. Yeah, so as soon as you walk in the door, this motherfucker hits you with, like, a barrage of this kind of shit. There's nothing to fight. Like this. Look at that. That's more than 8. There's like at least 12 of those fucking things. These sticky threads. And they all just... They just light you up like you're fucking in a mafia movie going into the restaurant, right? With a Tommy gun. And it was like impossible. There's 2 of those. There's 2 of those motherfuckers. And I was like, how am I supposed to do this, right? Because I was playing like a puss. And I was using my staff. Which means I have no shield. And it's just constantly hitting me with this kind of shit, right? As soon as I walk in the door, I have to just run right and start rolling as soon as I walk in the door. Usually, my plan is to run in and summon my Mimic tier, which is a copy of myself, which doubles my damage output, but then it uses your health, so you have to immediately hit a potion. So, like, the fight I'm on right now, with the Black Blade, whatever his fucking name is, the clergyman, my plan is I go in. See, if you want to summon a copy of yourself, you have to have the weapon you want your copy to be using on. So I got this axe with a prayerful strike because it heals you and allies. So I'll summon my minion. I'll go in with this, summon my minion, heal, and then I gotta hit over to this. This is my Astel's Wing, which is a really cheesy weapon, which makes thousands of explosions like the size of a galaxy. If you're fighting something big, it hits multiple times and it shotguns and causes all this extra damage. So if I just hold my shield out and I spam this, I'm pretty much blocking all the attacks with my shield when I'm not doing this, so it can pretty much keep me alive. But, like, learning how to just go in and just hold a shield up to survive the first part of the fight, it took me a while to do that because I wasn't thinking right. I was like this guy who just, like, come in for 5 minutes and he gets wrecked and he's just like, well, it's a shit game. Not because he's bad, but because he wasn't thinking it through. You've got to plan every boss. You got to, like, figure out, oh, this is a big boss, so I can probably shotgun him with these nebulas. Or I can hit him with, like, bleed is really good right now. Or before, like, if you just play a wizard in general, You just start throwing out spells. I don't have my staff. You just like throw glimmer stones at shit, pebbles, whatever. It scales. Like if you just look up on the website, smithing stones, figure out where all the smithing stones are, figure out where the bell bearings for you can just buy smithing stones in your hideout or whatever the round table at. You can just upgrade any weapon, and you're just going to get better because it's going to do more damage, and you can just figure out a weapon you want and then level it up. And that's only the one way to get good. Just play a wizard. Play a wizard is super easy because you're doing ranged attacks until you find something that's going to push your shit in because you're a wizard. And then you got to figure out something else. You got to have a backup plan. But like playing with mimics or like any kind of summon, you can level your summon up. You can look up where to get these grave things that level your summon up and like gradually progress. Like if you can't kill bosses, it's fine. Just go farm those little peasant guys that walk around with a trumpet and a flag and they don't really have anything. If you can't kill that fucking thing, then you really do suck and you need to take it back and maybe play Gran Turismo. But like killing a wolf or these kind of dogs, look, I don't even have a weapon out. What am I doing? Just go buy it on your horse. You just smack it a couple times. Dice. Just don't fight the red ones with the blood shit because they're bugged and they will like attack you 16 times instead of once. But these guys right here, like these regular old fucking dudes, you can kill those with a fucking anything pretty much. You gotta watch out for the torches because they will poke you with torches and it'll knock you off your horse. But like you can just farm XP like this until you get a few runes saved up. And you level up and you put all your points into vigor because you want to have max health. Unless you've got a weapon that you really want to use and you have requirements that you gotta meet. That's pretty much like the basic how to get good without really getting good. Or you can just watch fights. Look at this. There's a fight happening right here. I don't have to participate. I can just watch it. When I die, I'm going to get the runes because I'm here. I'm the only player that's a real player. I mean, that's a way to, like, rune farm. Look up the word rune farm in YouTube videos. And you'll learn. Look, I just leveled up. I just got like 100 runes. Didn't do shit. Just standing here watching. So if you suck, it's your own fault. If you can actually just watch people fight and get leveled up that way, you still can't play. I mean, you got to give it more than 5 minutes, of course. And then you get... Oh, there's so much complexity to this game. It's not just about playing with magic or using, like, spirit summons. By the way, I can spirit summon right here, even though there's not really a boss here. So it's pretty cool. So this guy will go in and just start nebulating shit. But there's also crafting. Buy you a crafting tool set when you first start. Look at all these things here that get rid of negative effects. Like you're getting killed by scarlet rot or frost or you don't want to get put to sleep a lot or madness or poison. You can make stuff that'll cure that shit. You can make stuff that make you immune to stuff. Make stuff that gives you better drops or more XP or just flaming jars you can throw at people. This one's like made out of shit. Or is it this one? One of them's made out of shit. Oil. I mean, there's all these like different. If you fight in two bosses, like those two Kindred of Rots I was talking about, you can actually throw sleeping pots on them or use sleeping arrows and put one of them to sleep and then kill the other one at a time, I think. Or you can summon a ghost that does sleeping arrows. This guy, the sleeping arrow puppet. And then there's all these different like summons I haven't even really experimented with that much. I've done contested them out, but I haven't really leveled them up and then tested them. There's ways to like make your bows shoot lightning and frost and all kinds of stuff if you want to like get some of these greases. I think you can buy them eventually. And then you get some of these cool things that you can mess around with. There's a build where you use this to ring a bell and then you smack it with your shield and then it summons 3 swords that pretty much wreck everything. You got throwing darts, you got all these little rocks, you can like test heights of stuff and like I don't even know what all this shit does. There's so much shit you can craft. Oh, this one restores HP but it poisons you, so then you gotta like take this to heal and then take the poison one right after it. But I never even used these rune arcs. Apparently that like using the great runes is really good. There's all this stuff that I don't even use that's in the game to like help you survive and not suck so bad. All this stuff you can craft with, apparently. You can make rope pots, you can throw them. What was the other thing? Here's all your smithing stones and your grave warts. Your great runes. See, I've got like two great runes here. I haven't even like activated because I don't know how to fucking do it because I'm a noob. You get all these perfume bottles. Nobody, even like good players, usually don't use perfume bottles, but they're fucking overpowered as shit. Where are they? Oh, there's all those talismans. Look at all the talismans I've collected. Where are the perfume bottles? I guess I don't have any, so I'd have to go to item crafting. Perfume bottles, yeah. The iron jar makes you like turn into Iron Man. You pretty much have crazy poise. You can't get knocked down, which is like one of the reasons people get 2 or 3 shot at a lot. The Blood Boy automatic, it just straight up gives you a crazy damage boost. And then you got poison and acid spray if you want to fuck around with that. Like these 2 right here. If you can collect some of these reagents, which you have to be able to kill a land octopus for that one. And then living jar shards, those are pretty rare. They're pretty rare, but these are like another way you can just make your damage go crazy. Even like the fire giant, like I thought the fire giant was like, oh, this is going to be craziest boss, right? Oh yeah, the fucking this place right here is goddamn gorgeous. The place that's like fall. I haven't showed you that yet, but yeah, the fire giant. I thought that was like in-game shit. Like everybody's talking about like how hard the fire giant is. That you had to like start the fight and then jump out of the fight with your horse so you can glitch him and then shoot him from a ledge where he can't reach you. Look at this. Forever Autumn. You're right underneath the big glowy tree. You got all this. There's like war going on. There's catapults everywhere. Golden shit and trees. Lightning dragons, I think you gotta fight some places. And then you got the whole volcano area, which is a whole big thing. And then you got the shaded castle, which is kind of a pain in the ass, but it's like it's an extra thing. And then you got the windmill village up here. And then you get to Landale Castle. We haven't even got to Landale Castle yet. I'm just talking about like strategies for noobs. But look at these fucking creepy ass motherfucking dancers. They don't fight you until you fight them, but they're fucking scary as fuck. Austin thought they were just happy people that were like, oh, this is nice. They're all singing and dancing. This is the NPC village. No, these fuckers are crazy. Look at their eyes. Now their eyes are glowing and they're pissed off. They're coming at me with fucking bone weapons. They've been killing and eating people and shit. They're goddamn scary as fuck. And now it's kind of like all foggy and stuff too. So let's go to Landale Castle. Let me get away from these bitches. A lot of these fights though, I had to cheese them really bad. Like you'll hit them with your Scarlet of Rot Dragon and run away and let them die. That's how I had to kill both of the Draconian Erdtree Guardian guys. Look at that. Fucking random catapult shot and hit me. I don't know if that counts as an enemy or not. No, it doesn't. Good. So we go up to here. When I say the fucking place is massive, and you go down in the sewers, you take some weird paths, that's crazy. And that's just one part that's underground. There's all the catacombs. The catacombs I thought were a little annoying because of the little gremlin guys. And like once you go down into a cave, you pretty much committed and you're going to lose all your runes because if you can't do it, you have to leave. There's no really way to go back up once you jump down in a hole pretty much. Look at this whole big city. That whole thing right there, probably for DLC. It's like a big coliseum like you'd have PvP combat in. But you can't even go in that one, and there's another one way down here. There's another one right here. There it is. See that half of a coliseum? And you got this, and this, and this giant ass fucking towers. And there's one right here for the end of the game on a tiny little island by itself. There's another one somewhere. Oh, maybe it's this one. This is where I need to go to activate my runes, probably. You just look for the highest fucking tower in the land, and that's probably where it is. What is that over there? Looks like the Kennedy Space Center back in the distance. What is that, north of me? What the fuck would that be? I don't know. Here's a giant petrified dragon that died with the a giant spear that you can get that spear by going up on that spear. If you see it, you can get to it. I got that the other day. It's about this crazy lightning bolt you can do. But yeah, the world just keeps getting bigger and bigger. About to burn this fucking tree to the ground eventually. Well, I got my axes by going up that little path and farming guys that were like coming down this path. It's the only place that drops them, I think. Except for the duelist bosses. So then, I was talking about the fire giant. Look at this fucking thing. Yeah, you can like, I spent like an hour or two trying to like jump out of this little ledge and then jump back onto the chain so that you can get outside of his arena and bug him. Or you can still shoot him with bows and arrows. Yeah, I'm still up at the top here. You can't even see. It's so high up you can't even see the land. But this is where you fight the fire giant. I do feel like the snowy areas was kind of a little bit devoid. Not this one so much, but the secret snowy area after this. There's all these like dead giants that you walk around down in there. This is like close to the branches of the tree. Maybe that's how you light it on fire. Yeah, you fight the giant way down there. Should we walk off the edge of this? What might lock it onto? I had to beat him legit. Pretty much you go for his ankle. I hit him with those nebulas. And once you get him into phase 2, I poisoned him, ran away like a little bitch, and hit him with some spells, like the great bow of Loretta. I guess it's Loretta's great bow. But it takes you a lot of tries, because a lot of your first initial contact with the boss, they'll just straight up smack you down dead. And you gotta keep trying until you get like a good start, and then get lucky on the end. Sometimes you gotta keep throwing yourself at it. But you don't have to do that. I mean, it's a 10 out of 10 game, even if you can't do any of the bosses. Just doing the exploration. It's still better than fucking Gran Turismo or Ninja Gaiden. What the fuck are you talking about? So then after this part, there's this other secret snowy area, which like a lot of this right here, you can't even see because it's a whiteout. I think you're supposed to kill this Dragonkin boss here, and then you go up here to this fucking place, and then you just get your shit pushed in by a mausoleum that launches fucking artillery strikes on you. Which we'll have a look at that real quick. If I hadn't fucked up, I could have used a summon here, and I could have gotten a dragon smithing stone. This giant place right here, I'm assuming you can redo old fights in these mausoleums somehow. That's what somebody said. They start launching shit at you. Like, look at this fucking thing. If you haven't been here yet, look at that. I just got my shit pushed in. What game has stuff like this? Shadow of the Colossus or something? Massive fucking things you can climb up on their backs and stab them in the eye? I don't know. There's no way you couldn't say that this is a 10 out of 10 game. I'd look like a fucking idiot if I said it wasn't. Look at that. Look at this. It's fireworks going off in the distance. And that's coming right to my face right now. I guess I'm barely out of range. It's massive. And still, even in this high level zone, you've got these motherfucking assholes right here. Easy. You just ride your horse up to them. Whack, whack. 2 hits, you're dead. Look at all the XP I just got. I just made up for all the XP I lost just now when I died. By killing a little bunch of random peasants that are helpless. What is this? There's a dead guy laying here. I haven't even seen this before. He hates Moog. And he's looking this direction. I don't think you're supposed to like use clues. There's so many secrets. Oh, look at this. I've accidentally put on a mimic veil. Now I am disguised as a statue. And then there's the whole PvP aspect. I didn't even get into like the weapons and stuff. Look at all the weapons there are. Look at this fucking thing right here. I killed a dragon yesterday with this. You blow bubbles. I can't blow bubbles. Did I respec or something? Oh, I gotta have my faith talisman on. Watch this. Blah, 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 blah. Each one of those bubbles does your weapon damage, I think. It does a shitload of damage. If you're underneath something big and you start blowing bubbles on it, it's kind of like the nebula from my sword. And then this is like the highest damage base great axe that I put a lightning ram on it. Oh, this one's the lightning ram one. Well, let's put that up here then, and we'll show you some goofiness. You get turned into like a little roly guy and just blast stuff like a little somersaulty lamb. That's a pretty broken build. People do. Prayerful Strike heals you, heals your minion. That's really good. Oh! Or if you want, you can just get this axe right here. Ice Rain Hatchet. If you suck and you just have a hard time with the game, just get this. This is what all the speedrunners use. You just get your horse and you do the thing I said. You go around this little path. Secret path right here. You go up here to the swamp. And right about here-ish, or like, yeah, right around in here somewhere. You can look it up on the internet. There's a chest that's just sitting out in the open with this axe in it. And this axe gives you Hoarfrost Stomp. Or you can look up the Dung Beetle where you get the actual thing and put it on the weapon that you like. This is an AoE frost spell thing that crushes all content pretty much. You can do in-game bosses with just Hoarfrost stomping. It's kind of stupid, but as long as you got enough FP, you can keep smacking it, keep drinking and doing stomping. It's a way to farm XP. You can't say the game's hard when there's ways like this to like cheese the game or do it easily. It's the easy mode everybody's looking for. Hoarfrost Stomp is easy mode. Spellcasting is easy mode. Look at these pathetic crabs. You'd think they would be accustomed to the cold, but apparently not. They die in one hit. This isn't even a leveled up Hoarfrost axe. This is like level 3 or 4 probably. I've got it on my Uchigatana. Look at this guy. He's getting ready to shoot me with an arrow. Look at him. Look at him. He hates me. Everything in this game wants to kill me. They're lighting me up right now. Look at all these arrows. Why do you hate me? Why? But the AI is so good. It will piss you off. There's times that I have been super frustrated and I thought the game was really bad and I said I would have given it a 0 or a 1. But I couldn't help but it's so gorgeous that I have to give it a 10 overall. See how bad my damage was right there? From that wolf when I started smacking it? It's not leveled up. That's a really key thing, is level up your weapon. If you don't level up your weapon and you're in a level like 100 zone and you got like a level 2 or 3 weapon, it's like playing, it's like you're using a starter weapon in a high level zone. It's very important that your weapon levels up with you if you're going to use one. If you get a new weapon, you got to level that one up. So you kind of got to plan ahead. Get all your shit figured out beforehand. And don't worry too much about using runes, because you can always, well, if you get to the end game, you can go over here to this place and just kill this giant bird. I didn't even show you the underground city with the giant deer bosses or anything, or the minotaurs that one-shot you with huge ass bows, or a billion other crazy things that you can do. Yeah, you can kill these guys right here, stomping on them. Oh, that's the wrong weapon. That's not what I usually use. This is not my leveled up weapon. Get away! This does nothing. Fuck you, you'll never take me alive. Don't be afraid to die. There's a lot of dying in this game, it's just part of it. If it's not what you're used to, then get used to it. It's all about, I feel like you just gotta like practice. If you don't practice, you're never gonna be good at anything in life. If you're just giving up after 5 minutes, it kind of says something about your personality. You gotta think about it. You gotta look inward and think about your decisions you made in life. It's kind of one of those games that like I just lost my job and shit, so it gave me something to do. But I don't know. It also helps you be a better person, maybe, because you have to like get good. A lot of these people, I guess it's like exposing people that thought they were good at games and they were just like handholdy games that they're good at. They're playing games for kids. They can drive a car in Gran Turismo or Zelda. They can Breath of the Wild it up, I guess. I don't even know if that's even supposed to be hard. Anyway, that's pretty much my review. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to say. Any more zones I wanted to show you. I mean, you've probably seen it all. Just watch some videos. There's no way people shouldn't like this game. Oh, the weapons. I mean, I didn't even talk about like the whips. What game has whips in it? There's these dual wieldy pole blades that are cool. Axes, hammers, flails, pickaxe, maces, or whatever hammer. What are these other kind of hammers? War hammers, giant, colossal weapons. This one's like an anchor of a ship. They all have their own weapon arts. The weapon arts are insane. Like all the ways that you can combine shit. All these different kinds of spears. There's like a flaming whip. There's this pedal whip is pretty crazy, and the fire giant's whip made out of his hair. Scythe. This one shoots out like giant rings of light. Punchy weapons like fist weapons and spikes and katars and cestises and Wolverine claws. And bow builds. Bows are kind of not good for playing the game, but PvP are some cool shit you can do. Different kinds of staffs that boost different kinds of magic. All these different faith seals, which I haven't even collected because there's a whole faith skill set that I haven't really touched yet. Torches that can torches are actually really good. The first torch you get, kill pretty much anything with that. When you light stuff on fire, it's gonna burn to death. All the different kinds of shields. This one reflects magic. This one turns magic into like swords because I got it buffed with carrying retaliation. This one shoots guns out of the front of it. It's a fucking guy with guns in his mouth. There's a jellyfish shield. This one like makes blood in the sky. I've never really messed with it, but apparently it's good. Flails I talked about. These weapons here that kind of stretch and get all, you fling them around. Katanas. A bunch of different katanas. Daggers. The dagger stuff's cool. The bloodhound step's cool. There's the black knife dagger. There's magical weapons that base their damage off of your intellect. So you can be like a sword wizard. This one here is pretty crazy. It does 2 different kinds of attacks that I don't even know how to use. I don't know what the fuck this thing does. What does this thing do? Look at this goddamn thing. This is like the black blade that I've been fighting. Oh, it makes it into a ghost sword. Ruinous ghost flame. Okay. That's something. Look at all the different armor sets I've collected. You can be Japanese. You can be a knight. You can be all this shit. You can look like the bosses. Everything that you kill can drop the item that it's wearing or using. Think about that. How crazy is that? And somebody taking it back to the store after 5 minutes. Get out of here. I mean, I had a hard time with the game at the beginning because I went in that cave, or just like my screen right now, it was Eternal Night. And I didn't have a torch yet. So, or I did have a torch, but I didn't have a lantern. So, like, I'd have to hold the torch in my left hand, and I only used my right hand, so I couldn't swap between, like, my weapon. I wasn't even using magic at that point. But the first 2 bosses were really hard for me. And then the bosses, some of the bosses are so shitty that they become like regular mobs eventually. I mean, this game is insane. It's 40 minutes long already? Holy shit, I didn't even talk about that long.